greetings to all learned people gathered here. Thank you for joining me. It's an honor and privilege to be with all of you. Can you see my hand? Yes? Give me a thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, great. Okay, can you hear my voice? Yes? Great. That simple awareness you just had, that is consciousness. So, finished. My TEDx talk is finished. I'm just kidding. But think about this. Usually, we seek answers through prayer or perhaps through deep meditation. But today, the answers might be waiting for us right here, in this conversation, in our shared journey of curiosity. Hi, I'm Jagath, and I invite you on a journey into the mystery of consciousness, of non duality, and how do ancient philosophies and modern science, separated by thousands of years, converge in the most fascinating ways. A few years ago, I found myself at a crossroad, broken and beaten by life. Picture me sitting alone on my veranda, frustration knotted in my chest. I had tried every solution my mind could offer. That evening, empty and exhausted, I just let it go. I cried deeply, and finally, I said the words most of us are afraid to say. I give up. I surrender. I was really grateful that nobody was there to watch my moment of unraveling. But the thing is that neither did I hear a voice nor did I see a vision, but I felt it, a quiet, spacious presence. It wasn't me thinking or feeling, it was just awareness itself, pure, boundless, and ever present. That moment changed everything, not because I found an answer, but because I discovered a question. What is this awareness that observes everything, including my thoughts and feelings? Let me share an exercise that helped me break free. I want all of you to close your eyes. Watch for your next thought. Maybe imagine it scrolling across your forehead like a news sticker. You'll notice that sometimes that it doesn't come at all. And now in that gap, ask yourself, what is it that is observing even this? That awareness, which is weightless, boundless, and always present. That is what we call as consciousness. So everyone, you can open your eyes. Okay. If I am the spacious awareness, so are you. So is the cosmos. Thousands of years ago, philosophers in ancient India explored this deeply. According to Advaita Vedanta philosophy, everything, you, me, the universe, is understood as expressions of one indivisible reality. Now, let's travel further to 20th century modern physics, shall we? We will discuss about the double-slit experiment, which was first performed by Thomas Young on wave theory of light. It is one of the first and continues to be the most important experiment in quantum physics. You have a screen and a wall with two slits in it, and a source shooting tiny particles, let's say tennis balls. You throw tennis balls at the wall. Some would bounce off, but some would pass through the slits and hit the second wall behind it. You would expect to see two strips of marks, right? Yeah. Simple physics here. Simple physics. Now replace the tennis balls with light. Shine a beam through those slits. And remember, you should only shine a light source of single wavelength and single color. What appears on the back wall is not two strips, but a complex and a beautiful pattern of light and dark bands. Why? Because light behaves like a wave, rippling out and overlapping to create what scientists call an interference pattern. So, scientists wondered, what if we shoot tiny particles of matter, say electrons, one at a time? Surely they are like little tennis balls. Common sense says each particle goes through one slit or the other, right? Like the tennis balls. But when the scientists ran this experiment without measuring which slit the particle went through, something bizarre happened. The particles created an interference pattern like overlapping waves, as if each particle went through both slits at once. Now, the scientists were baffled. Matter, the stuff you and I are made of, was behaving like a wave. So they decided to peek in. They placed a detector at the slits to measure exactly which path the electron took. And this is where reality gets strange. The moment they measured the electron, the wave pattern vanished. The electrons suddenly behaved like little tennis balls, forming just two strips. Now, what does this mean? At the quantum level, measurement, that is, any physical interaction, affects what happens. This challenges everything we think we know about how reality works. The act of measurement changed the outcome here. Scientists still debate this. What we know is that at the quantum level, the act of measurement, any interaction that reveals information, not necessarily human consciousness, affects the outcome. It suggests that the solid, separate world we think and we see is not fundamental. At its core, matter is not fixed things, but fluid possibilities. Now, important clarification here. Some people claim this proves consciousness and creates reality or validates mysticism. But that's not what scientists say. The observer here is a measuring device, not a human awareness. But here's what fascinates me. Both quantum physics and ancient philosophy, though completely different domains, challenges our assumptions about separation. What I'm exploring today are parallels, not proofs, between how different traditions challenge our assumptions. So here's where it gets fascinating. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying quantum physics proves ancient philosophy. They are different domains. One is science and based on experiments in mathematics. One is pure philosophy and based on meditation and inquiry. Both traditions, in their own ways, invite us to question our assumption. Can I prove this scientifically? No, not at all. But when I sit in stillness, when I observe this awareness, I experience something that feels boundless. Let's ground this idea with a story I love. A father asks his son to dissolve salt in water. The next morning, the father asks his son, "Son, where is the salt?" The son replies, "It has dissolved. I can't see it." The father says, "Taste it from the top, then from the middle, and then the bottom." The son tastes it and says, "It's salty everywhere." Now the father responds, "Just as the salt pervades the water invisibly, so does Brahman pervade all existence. You are that." Remember the night I told you about, sitting on my veranda, feeling broken, beaten, and utterly alone? I thought I was isolated from the world. But, well, guess what? I was wrong. I was just like that little electron before it realized it was a wave. I want to leave you with a challenge today. The next time you feel small or separate or overwhelmed by the drama of life, please stop. Remember the salt in the water. It is invisible, but it's present everywhere. Remember the quantum field. It looks empty, but it's full of potential. You don't need to retreat to a cave to find this connection. You can find this right here, even right now. So, when you walk out of these doors today, try to look at the world with quantum eyes. See the unity disguised as diversity. Because if ancient sages and modern scientists are right, you're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a drop. And this brings us back to where we started. I told you that answers might be found in this conversation, right? Well, I think you know why. Because when you speak to the person next to you, it isn't two separate drops exchanging words, it's the ocean meeting itself. The answer isn't inside you or inside them, but it is in the shared space between us, where the illusion of separation finally vanishes. Thank you for listening, and may this journey inspire you to keep questioning, keep seeking, and keep embracing what is truly, truly real. Thank you, and wishing you all to have a great life. Thank you.